Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on Orlando rapper Glokknine, who's just been sentenced to over 7 years in federal prison and is still facing up to 30 years in state prison on a Rico charge. July 23rd, 2020. It was 11:13 in the afternoon when Orlando PD received an emergency call from a female saying her house had been shot up. Responding to the scene, police observed spent shell casings scattered across the front of the house. Investigators would soon learn this was home to Orlando rapper Reese, who was determined to be the target of the shooting. Reese wasn't home at the time, and instead his mother and 4 siblings had to crawl and hide as bullets ripped through the home. Reese's younger sister would tell investigators she saw 2 vehicles pull up as 8 to 10 boys got out holding weapons. That's when she saw Orlando rapper Glokknine holding a gun with 2 hands with a drum magazine. She'd run to tell her mother as gunshots erupted. 4 days after the shooting, detectives obtained an arrest warrant for Glokknine on 5 counts of attempted murder with the firearm. July 28, 2020, the Orlando PD Fugitive Investigative Unit were able to obtain Glokknine's grandfather's address after it was listed on recent bond paperwork from one of the rapper's many open cases. A detective would drive by the residence observing a vehicle parked in the back and believed to belong to Glokknine. To prevent the vehicle from leaving, the FIU moved in, securing the vehicle and requesting a search warrant for the home. The vehicle did in fact belong to Glokknine and had multiple gunshots throughout the body. A search warrant for the home was signed and executed, and several guns were found inside. One firearm, a CMMG 5.56 short-barreled rifle, was found in the garage and determined to have been stolen from a gun store burglary back in 2019. Swabs for DNA were conducted on all firearms in the grip area, and traces of Glokknine's DNA was found on the short-barreled rifle's grip, along with his thumbprint being found on the magazine. Determining the rapper was in fact in possession of the weapon, he was also a convicted felon at the time. Charges of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a short-barreled rifle were then filed, and federal authorities would officially indict the rapper on weapons and fraud charges in February of 2021. Glokknine stood accused of possessing a 9-inch sawed-off rifle and taking advantage of the pandemic after using the name, social security number, and address of a person who applied for a PPP loan and opened a bank account in March. A deposit arrived in the bank account for $10,216 the following month, and Glokknine would share an Instagram message showing the loan application, which was intercepted by an Orange County Sheriff's wiretap. Authorities were able to trace and recover $7,216 from Glokknine's bank account. Fast forward to December 14th, Glokknine would plead guilty to possession of an unregistered firearm, aggravated identity theft, and felon in possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to 87 months in federal prison with 36 months of supervised release and drug treatment, on top of having to pay back $10,416 in restitution. If you need that repeated in English, he was sentenced to 7 years and 2 months in prison, 3 years probation, and to pay back every damn dollar he apparently stole. While it was reported by the news he still faces 5 attempted murders for the home shooting of rival rapper Reese, according to the Orange County criminal clerk, all charges surrounding that shooting were dropped on November 15th. Glokknine is still facing a state Rico charge and conspiracy to commit racketeering. During his arrest, he'd be found in possession of another firearm and 13 auto sears, which are used to convert Glock handguns into fully automatic machine guns. It's unclear if he'll face any additional federal charges for those, and he still faces up to 30 years in state prison for his Rico charge alone. At 21 years old, he'll be 28 by the time his federal sentence ends, and his freedom will depend on the outcome of his state case. He'd only been rich since 2018 after signing the Cash Money records for $2 million, and it can be assumed the majority of his wealth has been lost in court. As fast as he rose to the top, Glokknine will spend the next 7 years at the bottom. Now, while it can be viewed as a loss that he has to do a little over 7 years, you gotta think this man just beat 5 attempted murders, shooting a gun into a house, all those charges dismissed. That could have come with multiple life sentences. He got caught with a short-barreled rifle. The ATF, the feds, are not playing about that shit. So he gotta do his time for that. He gotta do his time for the little identity theft shit. But he's still facing up to 30 years in state prison on the Rico charge. And that in itself, I mean, let's say he gets 5 years for that, right? He's not getting out until he's well into his 30s, if that's the case. This kid got signed for $2 million at what, like 18 years old? And within another 2 years, it's pretty much fucking over with. He's not going to be making money in the feds like that. He obviously can't perform or anything like that. If you have to do PPP loans and you're a rapper that's supposed to be getting paid and you're signed to a major label, if you're doing PPP loans, that rap money must not be hitting. So we have to assume the majority of his money has been lost in court. This kid has so many different court cases, and there is still the possibility of him facing more charges for the gun that he was found with, along with the 13 auto sears that are considered machine guns in federal court. And if he gets hit with charges for that, it's pretty much over with. It's not gonna work out. The streets and rap just don't mix, and that's really one of the downfalls of becoming a rapper that is true to what he says. You can't talk about these rap beefs without doing them, right? He was actually involved in some shit, and some shit was getting done. And according to the Rico, murders, shootings, all type of shit was happening. Robberies. People were getting killed in Orlando. Orlando got tired of it. They asked the feds to come down, and they're fucking up all the rappers now. And everything is just, it's an eye-opening experience. But we are the only ones that actually benefit from it. We get to be like, oh shit, this is what not to do. While Glokknine, and I'm sure other people that have been hit with the Rico, when they're sitting inside of a cell with no one around them, without a phone to cloud their mind, they just get to think. It's the moments when you're by yourself and you get to think and you get to replay how you've been living. That's when you get to analyze your flaws and where you went wrong. And when you're sitting on that concrete, sleeping on that concrete, that's when you stop wishing you did shit differently. But I'll keep y'all updated on his state Rico case. He is not the only rapper in that case. That is the same case that Hot Boy, the so-called rival rapper from Orlando, is facing too. That's gonna be a big one when they all start going to trial. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. Till next time.